At the 21st century, and the guest is the president of Tennessee State University, Dr. JHefner. And of course, Dr. Hefner, before we had our final commercial break, we promised that we'd give you an opportunity to talk about some of the things that you believe to be very, very important at Tennessee State University in the upcoming century. And so let's give you an opportunity to do that now.
Well, I am certainly delighted to say that for the last 7 years, TSU has been listed in U.S. News and World Report as one of the 229 best colleges. And if you think about our history, from 1912 to the year 2001, and to say that we are one of the 229 best colleges in the country, that says a lot about what has happened during that time. And so I'm so delighted to say that, because very few schools can say that they have been listed consecutively for the last 7 years in U.S. News and World Report. The other thing I think is important for me to say, and that is that the building metamorphosis at the university has created a sense of ownership on the part of not only our faculty and staff, but our students. Anytime you can say that you've built 8 new buildings since 1991, and of course there are 2 more that we will be building very soon. In fact, one has already started, and that is our performing arts building. And of course, when you have a graduate like Oprah Winfrey, you must have a performing arts building. And in that building, we will take our television equipment and studio downtown at our downtown campus, and our radio studio on this campus, and put inside of that facility. And it will be done by, I think it's about 18 months that they'll complete that facility. So next summer, we will have this Performing Arts Center. In addition, we are in the process of building a complex of tennis courts for our students, a wellness center. You know, everybody wants to be healthy nowadays, so there's a wellness center that we'll start building this semester. And we will do an Olympic plaza. I indicated earlier that we've sent 40 athletes to the Olympics. Well, we must have a plaza to celebrate that occasion, so there'll be an Olympic plaza. And then we will have some more apartments. Students today love apartments. A residence hall they don't like anymore, what we used to call dormitories. And so we are building these incredibly attractive apartments, 2- and 4-bedroom apartments for our students. The last thing I think to be important to me, and of course we can talk about other things as well, is that the John Merritt Classic, if you talk about history, you have to talk about TSU history, you have to talk about John Merritt. Here was an extraordinary coach. He, for 20 years, he never had a losing season. And that's why I can say that, of course, we've sent 119 athletes to the NFL. John Merritt started all. And so we have the John Merritt Classic in September of next year. And I'm delighted to say that the Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring, is a supporter of this. The first time we ever had that done. And if you look back at Dr. Walter Davis and what he did in terms of athletics, and you look at the contributions of Dr. Humphreys and Dr. Floyd, and you bring all these people together, all these presidents, in which I'm standing on their shoulders, and to say that we are one of the 229 best colleges, we have a John Merritt Classic in honor of a legend that now we're supported by the city. And one thing that I think is important is that the consent decree, we've been able to settle that, or it was a 32-year-old case, and desegregation case, and TSU will get the bulk of the settlement. As it comes to around $70 million, TSU will get about $60 million of that. And there's a great possibility we'll get a law school. Obviously, the downtown campus will be renovated. We will have $1 million a year from the state over a 10-year period put into our endowment. Of course, that'll be used for scholarships to bring in outstanding students. There are other elements associated with that as well. So there's a challenge to this consent decree, but where there's a challenge, there's an opportunity. And we look forward to that opportunity.
Very good. And of course, Dr. Hefner, let me thank you over the last half minute that we have here for, again, giving us this decade report. In a real sense, that's what you're doing, in a sense of talking about what has happened over the last 10 years that you've been at Tennessee State University. And of course, we've had an opportunity to interview you in almost each of those years. And we've got the whole record on tape in a real sense. And we can certainly appreciate what you've said. And we can see, and we've seen the development of all of these things that you've talked about. And I certainly appreciate you coming by and giving us this report of Tennessee State University. And I think that Tennessee State University stands well at the very, very edge of this 21st century. And of course, let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.